Good morning. Thank you very much, clients, for being able to join us this morning for our most current release that we have coming up for our talent acquisition recruitment software. My name is Camille Bagwell. I am the product marketing manager for PeopleFluent. And with us today, we also have Jesus Develos and Doug Zigafus from our product management team, who will be presenting our releases that we have coming up. So I would like to now pass it over to Jesus and Doug. Thank you. Sorry, real quick, if you do have any questions, we will answer those questions. So if you could please type them in, and depending on where we are within the presentation, we'll either ask them during the presentation or we will wait till the Q&A session. Thank you.
Thank you, Camille. Thank you to everybody joining us this morning or afternoon. So the agenda for today, we're going to go through the brief introductions. We're going to talk about the candidate API, the onboarding web PDF forms, and we are also going to talk about the PeopleFluent Pipeline that we have coming up in the next couple of months that we're really excited about it. And at the end, we will have some questions from you. So please, if you have any questions, type it on the chat. We will be trying to accommodate all the questions as we can. If not, we will make some follow-ups directly with you guys. Thank you again for joining. So today presenters, as you hear, Camille Badwell, she is the product marketing manager. My name is Jesus Davalos, product owner and product manager for the recruiting and talent acquisition side. Also with me here, Doug. Do you want to introduce yourself?
Morning, I'm Doug Zigafus. I am our senior product manager, also on the talent acquisition side. And I'll have the fun of talking to you about the cool stuff we got coming up once Jesus talks about what we're releasing now.
Awesome. Thank you, Doug. So let's get started and let's start talking about the candidate API. So we're really excited that this is one of the first APIs that we'll be releasing and more to come in the future. So what is the problem right now? So you guys, customers, have told us that they want to get access to the candidate data. This is the data that you own, is in our system, and you want an easy way to extract that information in real time to facilitate the integrations with other vendors or your internal tools. So how do we solve this? So we started creating a candidate data endpoint to extract this information that is necessarily to allow you, the customers, and also your developers or other third-party developers to use this data in the system in order to connect to other vendors, to other tools, etc. So that's how we started with this idea. So this is one of the first APIs that will be coming. So PeopleFluent will be releasing the first candidate API where customers can extract their information to the other vendors for reporting or for internal systems. It's up to you to decide what you want to do with your own data. So we're going to make it easier for you to extract these information. Developers will have the ability to create different endpoints. This means endpoints is where certain information is stored. So we're going to break it down to different endpoints, and I will going to talk a little bit about that. So these different endpoints of information, you can get it out, this information, the specific information, and you can send it to vendors or internal systems. You can try it out, this API, using your CBB environment, our CBB environment, sorry. The CBB environment will be available with this API. I will remind you that the CBB environment, you need to request to your account manager or your project manager that a fresh copy of your instance is in CBB in order to start using it. So please contact them before trying it, that environment, and make sure you have a fresh copy of that one. Developers can access this API using different methods to extract the information, like filtering, sorting the information, or a pagination functionality. This is with the purpose to facilitate the extraction of the information and make it simpler for the developers that are extracting the information to use it. What is included in the candidate extract API? So as I said, we're going to have different points. These are some of the areas of the information that we are going to include in these different endpoints. So we're going to have your candidate core fields. We're also going to have the candidate profile fields. We're going to have the resume links to the resumes. We're going to have the candidate custom fields. So we know how important your custom fields are. So we also include these, and also your candidate profile custom fields. So all the information from the candidate is almost available to these different endpoints. So you're going to have different endpoints to gather, for example, the interview or the resume links or the education information. So all these different endpoints, you can extract the information to facilitate that. And that's what is included in this API. Who can use the candidate extract API? Well, using the new candidate API and the future APIs requires to be in the iPaaS platform. This is really important for us because we want to make sure that your information, the one that you own, is truly secure. So we want to make sure that we know who is accessing this information, who has access on it. So our iPaaS platform, they give us the ability to and the flexibility to do these secure APIs. So in case that you don't have an iPaaS platform right now, because we know some of you are still not in our platform, please talk to your account manager to open some CRs in order to get to that iPaaS platform. So then now for the clients that are in the iPaaS platform, and now for the customer that transitions to iPaaS platform, how can I start using it? So you can open a ticket with our support team to request a URL. This URL, you can generate an API key. So this API key, it will be specifically for the user that you are logged in, and you can use this now API key in order to access the different APIs, different endpoints. If you want to, for example, the API will be associated with a user, as I said, and if you're working with a partner or a third-party vendor, we'd recommend creating a user for that partner and generate an API key for them for use. This is really important because we want to be able to track the information. So in case that you no longer have a relationship with that partner, you can disable now the API key and they will not have access anymore to that information. So we can track who has access, and you can also track them who has access to the API, creating a special users for the APIs. You can also create a user for the CVB environment and production environments. So the same way that you will do it for production, you can use it for CVB. So in the CVB environment, you can create an API key for the developers, the testing developers that are going to be doing it. So they don't have full access of the all candidate information until you go to production and you're live with your integration. So that's why the CVB environment is important. The documentation to get the API key and how to use the endpoints will be available in the customer community. You can also request to our support team those documents when you get the URL for the API key. So just to let you know how it looks at the screen of how to get an API. So you can see right now the iPaaS platform system. So you can see in the first image on the top left, you see the information of generating a key. So you log in with that system user, and then you generate a key. Then once you generate it, you can see the API. You can copy this one, and then you can use it through the API's endpoints. You can regenerate the key. Let's say that you forgot your key, or someone had access of that key and shouldn't had access. You can regenerate that key. The old key will be invalid, and you also can delete the key. So those are kind of the scenarios on that aspect of that. When can I start using it? Obviously, this is the one of the important questions. So the release is going to be August 13 of our API. So our customers can start requesting the documentation and the API to generate the API key on August 14. So our support team will be ready to assist you with that information, with the documentation and the link to create that. So as for now, I don't know, Camille, if there is any questions or we can follow into the onboarding. I think we will follow with onboarding. So one of the things in onboarding, so we upgraded the technology on the PDF forms. So right now, what is the problem that we were having is that onboarding new hires were not able to complete PDF forms using Chrome, Firefox, or Safari. We know that these are now browsers that are more popular. So HTML form, we had HTML form, but they don't look like the original form. So how do we solve it? So we upgraded the technology behind the PDF task for new hires and onboarding users. And we eliminated the Adobe plugin, and now we switch it to a web PDF version. So now you can access to any browser. So what is new on the PDF form task? So the PDF form can now be displayed in any modern browser like Chrome, Firefox, Safari, and it can be accessible through a desktop, tablet, or mobile phones. I will remind you that the forms will look exactly or will look almost exactly like your PDF. So right now it's not responsive, but it can be filled out in mobile phones and tablets as well. No plugins are necessary to view or complete the PDF forms, so you don't have to install anything on your computer or browser. The new and existing PDF form will preserve almost exactly look and feel as the original PDF. So that's really an advantage for trying to display, especially government forms. Existing PDF forms will keep the field mappings, so you don't have to worry about mapping again your PDFs. No, the information will still be mapped there and will auto-populate the new hires and engagements information automatically. The forms with the new PDF, web PDF, can be saved as a draft, printed, and obviously submitted. So how can I start using the PDF task? So one first thing is like if you're using your PDF form task, in this scenario, if you're already using it and you're sending it to new hires, there is no need to do anything at all. We will automatically convert your existing forms to render in the new web PDF. We also are not going to change the name of the task, so the task is still going to be in your onboarding as a PDF task. So, but the technology behind rendering, it will be the new thing. We'll also be automatically removing save and submit buttons, and we are going to add these into the actual technology that we're using in a new menu bar. There is no changes on the engagement task list or no changes, as I said, in the field mapping. So this is in the case that you're using the existing PDF sometimes. Now, if you were using the HTML form task, so there is two options here. If you are still using the HTML forms that are mapped to a PDF, so you can download the information into PDF, what you need to do is switch your engagement task using the HTML form now to use the PDF task. You just need to make sure that your field mappings are correct as well. But once you switch that, you can select the existing PDF, and now you can send the new task to the new hires. In the case that you're using the HTML forms, but without the mapping to the PDF, you need to create these PDF forms and upload it into the file templates so they can start using it, the PDF task. When can I start using the web PDF task? So the release date is the August 15th. As I mentioned, if you're using the HTML forms tag, HTML forms, you can continue using them and you can switch at your convenience. There is not going to be any impact to any other task at all. I'm going to show you a quick demo of how it looks, the new PDF task. So,
Hey, Jesus,
yes,
before you go into the demo, we do have a couple of questions. Is that okay?
yeah, that's fine.
So the first question is, will the candidate API allow us to issue updates to candidate information as well, or is it read only for now?
So for now, it's read only, so you can just extract or basically the information that you have currently available. We have in the future plan for also making changes to the information to the API to basically import or candidate in, but that's in the future. So we would like you to give us your feedback as well and how you will use it. You can use the product portal, but we will talk about that, how to use the product portal in the next slides. But thank you for that question.
And we have one more question. Are there plans to upgrade the technology on the administration side of the system so that it can be accessed in a browser other than Internet Explorer?
Yes, we are looking into that. As you know, that's one of our biggest pieces of the application. So you can also make your feedback here in the product portal. We gather this feedback really is important for us, and that will drive what is next in our priority list. But we will talk about what the pipeline looks like for the next couple of months, and we can talk about the future as well.
That's it. Thank you.
Thank you. So I'm going to show you a quick demo of the. Hopefully, you can see my screen. So as you can see, and Camille, can you see my form? Yes. Okay. So as you can see, this is an I-9 form. As you can see, this is just as it is in the I-9 form. So it has all the information available, so you can actually show it to your new hires as it is. So you're going to have features like the zoom in, zoom out of information. The red fields means like those are required and those need to be filled out. You can start typing, as I said, in any browser and information. And you can select, for example, any information around it. So all the information that is in the PDF will be there. We will automatically populate that information. You can also have the information as a print. You can download it, save it as a draft, and submit it. So make sure that if you're using HTML forms, you can switch to these, and there is really a huge advantage because you can display your PDF forms as it looks right now. I wanted to continue with the next item, that is the onboarding and onboarding the PDF task with e-signature. I wanted to give you a brief demo and also a brief information about it. So it's still in development right now, but I wanted to give you the heads up of what you need to do in order to leverage the PDF task with e-signature. So what is the problem? So as you know, customers need to capture new hire signature when they are filling the forms online. We know these, and you have many forms during the onboarding process. So how we solve this? So we have added a signature widget in the PDF task for the new hires, and this can also capture the date time stamps, the IP address. We're gonna have a document ID, document hash, etc. So we're gonna make sure that anything that is the document when it was completed, we know the track or we know the trail of information of who was the person that signed it and completed that form. In order to have the PDF task with these signatures, so it's going to require that you need to add the digital signature field in Adobe, so to your forms. So you can see there on the left, this is the Adobe forms. You can add this digital signature field, and what is going to look in the PDF with this signature is on the right. So you can see that you can draw your signature there. So I'm going to show you that really quickly in my demo. So can you see my screen?
Still seeing yep, there it is.
Okay, thank you, Doug. So you can see this is in information of for example, a form of parking form. So you can see the information here is just some test information. But you can see here now this signature field. This is where the signature field. So once you click that, you can draw your signature here, and then you can save it. And now the signature will show up there. You can draw the signature here on your desktop, tablet, or mobile phone. So you will be able to sign on these devices. So that is what we're gonna do with the signature piece. Now you can see your phone signed. So once you go back to your onboarding engagements, you can download your files with e-signature, and you will see the signature from the user there. We're also going to display in the information there all the trail if you need to, like IP address, the user that signed it, and the documents ID, etc. So we will make this available in the future, pretty soon, as I said. But I wanted to just prepare you that you need to add this signature field in order to leverage that PDF fields. And that's thing with the two items for this release. So I'm gonna pass it to Doug right now. So he's gonna talk about pipelines. That we're really excited about it, and take it away, Doug.
All right. Thanks a lot, Jesus. So I just want to talk about a couple of the really cool things that we've got coming up. And as with all things roadmap, I want to give our little disclaimer out first that the information that we're sharing with you today is our plan, and we all know what happens to plans. They can all change. So what I'm sharing with you today is this is what we intend to do in rough time frames in which we hope to have these things completed. But with all things, they are subject to change. So that being said, let me talk about some of the cool stuff we've got going on. So Jesus was just talking about how you can sign online with the onboarding pieces. One of the next things that we'll be doing is adding a similar capability to job offers. So in this case, you'll be able to send out a job offer to a candidate who can access it online, and they can draw their signature on just the same way that Jesus was demonstrating on the job offer. So it eliminates the need for them to download, print out, use a pen, upload it, scan it, and send it back to you. It can all be done online. It can be done on any device. So if they have a touch screen, whether it's a phone or a tablet, they'll be able to use the finger and draw it. If they don't have a touch screen, they'll be able to use their mouse, and they can draw it in there then. Right? They will still have the ability to download and print out these offers as well, both before and after they sign it. This also gives you a little bit better way of being able to track when and how they've been signed through the system. So one of the other things that we want to talk about is the dashboard metrics for business intelligence. And basically, we are going to be adding some metrics to the recruiting dashboard panel, so you don't have to leave and go off into reporting. You'll be able to see it all in one place. We have a number of things that we're looking at doing, which include basic information around like time to fill, open recs, how long it takes to hire, how many candidates have been sent to a hiring manager, offers extended, accepted, declined, etc. We're still in the process of determining the full scope of what we want to include. So we highly encourage you to go to the product portal, which I'll talk about here in a minute, and vote on both whether or not this is important to you, and if it is, what types of metrics you'd like to see us include, so we can make sure that we accommodate those as we go forward. All right. The next thing I want to kind of highlight is around scheduling interviews. We're going to start with a self-scheduling capability. And this is the whole idea behind, instead of trying to go back and forth with candidates and interviewers to find that mutually beneficial time for everybody, you're going to be able to specify a time frames in which your interviews are available, and candidates will be able to go in and pick a time slot that works for them. So you don't have to go back and forth. We will have an integration with this with your calendar, so it'll block off times that you already have scheduled, so that candidates won't be picking time frames that that the interviews are already busy. That way that there will be a good time frame. So the idea behind this is essentially your interviewer is going to be able to say, I'm available Monday through Wednesday from 9 a.m. to 3 p.m. to do interviews. Their calendar will then block off the time slots that they already have meetings or something scheduled, and then the candidate will see the remaining time slots available to be able to pick a time. Right. The next thing then is similar to that, which we're calling on this slide the Office 365 interview scheduling. So this is very similar, except for instead of having candidates pick their own time, it'll be more similar to what you do today when you're just scheduling an interview. But in this case, it'll be the calendar integration that allow you to see that interviewer is busy during the times, so that you can pick a time that they are not busy and manually set what that time will be. Now for both of these, both the self-scheduling and this interview scheduler, once a time slot has been picked, whether it's the candidate picking it through self-scheduler or you scheduling it through the interview, it will automatically send out invites to both the candidate and to the interviewers to put on your calendar for when it was picked and any details related to that interview that's needed. And then the last thing I want to talk about that's on this is the texting communications. And really, that's going to be everything that we just talked about with the interview scheduling that you can do through email is going to be able to be sent out through a text message. And that will be kind of a bi-directional thing. So any replies that people candidates give back to you via the text message will be tracked in some sort of activity stream or communication stream, so you'll be able to see the back and forth. So those are our big things that we've got coming up. We'll also have some very small things. But one of the things I do want to really highlight, and we've mentioned it a couple times already, is our product portal, right? And this is an area that is really useful for us that allows you guys to go in and vote on things that we're thinking about doing. So and we have two sections. One, we call it planned, which are the things that we're pretty sure we're going to do. And then another section that we've got called under consideration, which is kind of more of the longer term plans where we're not 100% sure we're going to do it yet, but we think we're going to do it. And in both cases, this gives you an opportunity to vote to say, yes, this is important to me. And the more votes that something gets, the more likely we are to do it or to move it up in our priority list. But in addition to that, it's even better for us that you can put in, as you vote, you can let us know why it's important to you. All right. And that gives us two things. One, it helps us to understand the reasoning behind what you're doing so we can actually solve the problem and make sure we are giving the problems that you need solutions. But it also gives us somebody that if we know that you're interested in it and we want to reach out to people to talk about, to say, hey, we've got a mock-up that we'd like to share with you and get your feedback to see if this is working or meeting your needs, or if we just want to talk to somebody about understanding what's behind the request for this, it gives us people that have clearly indicated that they care about this that we can reach out to and get more information to help us make sure we are giving you the best solution possible. The last thing you can do on this is submit brand new ideas. So if you go out there and look at this board and go like, hey, these are some cool things that you guys are doing, but what I really want is something else. You can submit that new idea. It'll come to us. We review those, and some of those we will add to the list for people to vote on. Others will do some investigations before we do that. So it really gives us a good idea of what it is that's important to you guys as we go through that. So to get to the product portal, if you're not aware, you should all have access to the customer community site. You can link to it. There is a link to the product portal on the customer community site, and you can go in and vote there.
So I think that's all we have. Thank you, Doug. So we're going to open up that to any questions. And before going to questions, I forgot to mention something during the candidate API. The candidate API will not have any cost for you, our customers. Although if you require a CVV refresh of your instance or upgrading to the iPaaS platform, that will have to be through a CR that usually has cost around that. But the usage of the API will not have a cost. Camille, do we have any questions?
Yes, we have two new questions. When will onboarding with e-signature be available?
So we are looking to probably use so on this slide. We're looking for the Q3 timeline. So we're looking probably around the end of September timeframe. We're just gonna make sure that we have everything ready for that one. But it still is gonna be around that time. We don't have exactly dates yet, but we will let you know again that when it's going to be available.
We currently have interview scheduling portal in RMS. How will the candidate self-scheduling affect this?
So the self-scheduling is separate from the interview scheduling portal in RMS. So for right now, they will both be active, and we are updating the RMS side more so. It will not affect the portal.
The interview scheduling portal right now is not going to be impacted on this. We're trying to bring some of the features into that, into the recruiting portal, like the self-scheduling. This is something that we wanted to put that for all our customer base.
I didn't see anything about, okay, sorry, next question. I didn't see anything about an open API for better vendor integrations. Is that on the radar?
Yeah, so we are going to start adding more APIs in the future. And that's why we encourage you to go to the product portal. We have for next year to open a kind of a platform, and this is from the platform side that they will uh, go and gather all the APIs for PeopleFluent and put it in the same portal. This is our end goal, but it's more on our platform team side. So just let's keep you. We're gonna keep you updated, the product team around that, but that will come in the future to make all these changes available. So we're gonna start releasing APIs around that, and then we're gonna bring it up all together in a single platform, single site.
Next question. Do we have an API available where other integrations can invoke the and get the details from PeopleFluent?
So the other API that we have available is the job post API, and we, as I said, we are releasing the candidate API this time. You can leverage those two right now, but as I said, we're looking into the future to add in the import of candidate information as well. So. But yeah, so those are right now the ones that we have in the recruiting side. There are other APIs and the other products as well.
That's all the questions that we have.
All right. So thank you everybody for joining. If you still have questions around these items, please reach out to us through the product portal to get us your feedback and comments. We will try to reach back to you when you send us feedback, or also as well, our customer success team is also available for you to answer you any questions, and they will redirect it to us in case that they don't have the answer right away. So again, thank you everybody for joining.
And also, just so you're all aware, this this webinar has been recorded. We will not be necessarily sending out the PowerPoint deck, as that was just a question that came in, but the video will be made available. And once we have that downloaded, we'll post that on YouTube and provide you all with the link. So those who were able to join, and obviously those who are not able to join, will have access to see the recording once we have made it available.
Thank you, everybody.
Have a great day.